How did a cluster of colonies on the edge of the Atlantic Ocean transform into a global superpower? This remarkable story begins in the late 18th century with the American Revolutionary War, a bold confrontation that pitted the 13 colonies against the formidable British Empire. In 1776, the course of history was irrevocably changed with the adoption of the Declaration of Independence. This pivotal document not only proclaimed the colony's right to self-governance, but also articulated ideals of liberty and justice that would echo through the ages. But declaring independence was merely the first step. The real framework for the nation's future came in 1787 with the drafting of the Constitution. This document established a system of democratic governance that was revolutionary in its foresight and balance of powers. It laid the groundwork for a nation that would value the rule of law, individual rights, and a separation of powers that prevents the concentration of authority. The early years of the Republic also saw bold moves in territorial expansion. The Louisiana Purchase in 1803 was a masterstroke of diplomacy and vision that doubled the size of the nation. This acquisition of vast lands west of the Mississippi River not only provided room for an expanding population, but also set a precedent for future growth through exploration and settlement. From a fledgling nation, the United States was poised to begin its journey towards becoming a formidable power on the global stage. What drove Americans to expand westward across an entire continent? In the 19th century, a potent blend of desire, belief, and destiny stirred within the heart of America. The term manifest destiny emerged as a rallying cry, symbolizing the deeply held belief that Americans were destined by Providence to expand their territory from the Atlantic to the Pacific. This ideology wasn't merely about expansion, it was imbued with a sense of moral purpose and divine approval. The allure of vast unexplored lands was magnetic. The annexation of Texas in 1845 marked a significant leap in this ambitious quest. Originally an independent republic after breaking away from Mexico, Texas became a coveted gem, sparking controversy and inflaming the debate over the expansion of slave territories. As the whispers of gold fluttered from California in 1849, the nation's gaze turned sharply westward. The California gold rush catalyzed a mass migration as hundreds of thousands grasped for their fortune. Towns sprang up overnight, and the social fabric of California was irreversibly transformed. The completion of the Transcontinental Railroad in 1869 was another monumental stride, physically and symbolically linking the eastern states with the burgeoning western territories. This iron ribbon across the continent not only facilitated trade and migration, but also heralded an era of unprecedented economic growth and territorial cohesion. The dream of manifest destiny not only reshaped the map of the United States, but also set the stage for its emergence as a continental power. How did industrialization alter America's role on the world stage? In the twilight of the 19th century, America was on the cusp of a transformation that would redefine not only its own destiny, but also its role in global affairs. The Industrial Revolution, a period marked by massive technological advancements and economic growth, began to reshape the United States from a largely agrarian society into an industrial powerhouse. Imagine vast landscapes turning into sprawling industrial cities almost overnight. Railroads expanded across the continent, facilitating the swift movement of goods and people. The steel industry, led by figures like Andrew Carnegie, laid down the literal and figurative tracks of the nation's progress. Meanwhile, John D. Rockefeller revolutionized the oil industry, which fueled all other industries and transportation networks. These developments catapulted the U.S. economy into a new era. As factories multiplied and production soared, the United States saw an unprecedented rise in its economic power. This surge was not confined within its borders. American commodities flooded markets worldwide, influencing global trade patterns and economic policies. Moreover, the accumulation of capital and the rise of a robust banking system allowed the United States to begin extending financial influence abroad, embedding itself in the economic affairs of other nations. The U.S. was no longer just participating in the world market, it was shaping it. Industrial prowess thrust the United States into a position where it could not only compete with, but also influence other world powers. In what ways have global conflicts shaped America's international role? The story of the United States in the 20th century is deeply intertwined with its engagement in global conflicts, each altering its position on the world stage. The Great War, or World War I, was America's debut into international military affairs. Initially reluctant to join, the U.S. eventually entered the war in 1917, tipping the scales in favor of the Allies. This involvement marked the beginning of the U.S.'s journey towards becoming a pivotal global leader. Following the armistice, the U.S. played a significant role in the League of Nations discussions, although it never joined. The idea, however, set a precedent for later international cooperation, which was fully realized after the next great conflict. World War II further cemented the United States' role as a global powerhouse. Post-Pearl Harbor, America's industrial might turned it into the arsenal of democracy, supplying allies with critical resources and military equipment. By war's end, with European powers weakened, the U.S. emerged not only as a liberator of the oppressed, but also as an architect of the post-war world. This era saw the creation of the United Nations and the North Atlantic Treaty Organization, institutions aimed at fostering peace and collective security, heavily influenced by American ideals and leadership. Then came the Cold War, a period defined by ideological battles primarily against the Soviet Union. This era tested America's military strategy and foreign policy like no other. The threat of nuclear war led to a massive buildup of arms, and saw the U.S. engaging in various conflicts around the globe to contain communism, from Korea to Vietnam and beyond. Throughout these turbulent times, the United States honed its role as a defender of the free world, a promoter of democracy, and a leader in international diplomacy. These conflicts not only shaped military strategies and political policies, but also crafted a new global order where the U.S. found itself at the helm. Through these conflicts, the U.S. carved out a role as a principal architect of modern global politics. How have American innovations and culture conquered the world? In the grand tapestry of global influence, American technology and culture stitch a vivid narrative. The rise of the Internet, a brainchild of American ingenuity, has arguably been the most transformative. It revolutionized how information is shared, how business is conducted, and even how relationships are formed across the globe. Space exploration, another frontier where the U.S. has led with vigor, extends the reach of human curiosity and capability. The iconic images of astronauts planting the American flag on the moon broadcast a message of ambition and possibility that resonated worldwide. These endeavors not only advanced scientific knowledge but also inspired countless individuals to dream beyond terrestrial limits. Meanwhile, the allure of Hollywood movies, with their compelling narratives and groundbreaking special effects, has captivated audiences far beyond American borders. These films often carry underlying values of freedom, justice, and the pursuit of happiness, subtly weaving American ideals into the fabric of global culture. American music, from rock and roll to hip-hop, has also played its part in shaping global cultural landscapes. These genres, rooted in deep social and cultural movements within the U.S., have found enthusiastic audiences in every corner of the world, influencing local music scenes and inspiring new artistic expressions. Fashion, punctuated by iconic American brands, has dressed the world in everything from blue jeans to baseball caps, turning American casual wear into a global uniform. American technology and culture have become cornerstones of global society, weaving the U.S. into the daily lives of people around the world. What does the future hold for America's global influence? As we peer into the unfolding chapters of the 21st century, the United States stands at a crossroads of unprecedented challenges and vibrant opportunities. The landscape of global power has dramatically shifted, and the U.S. faces intense economic competition from rising powers. This competition not only tests the resilience of the American economy, but also its innovative capabilities in technology and industry. Political polarization presents another formidable challenge. The internal divisions that mark American society today have the potential to affect its foreign policy and global standing. How America navigates these turbulent waters will be crucial in maintaining its position on the world stage. Yet, amidst these trials, the United States continues to wield significant influence through its foundational ideals, democracy and freedom. Around the world, these principles are still regarded as beacons of hope for oppressed populations and models for emerging governments. American cultural products, from films to technology, continue to permeate every corner of the globe, crafting a narrative of innovation and progress. Leadership in global crises such as climate change also marks a vital area where America is called to assert its influence. the world looks to the US for direction and commitment in tackling environmental challenges that threaten global stability and health. America's response to such crises not only shapes environmental policies worldwide, but also its moral leadership on the global stage. Furthermore, the digital age presents both a challenge and an opportunity for America. In this era, information flows freely, and soft power, the ability to influence others through cultural or ideological means, becomes just as critical as economic or military might. How America adapts to and leads in this digital landscape will be telling of its role in the near future. As the United States continues to navigate complex global dynamics, its journey as a world power remains a pivotal chapter in the story of global history.